be prepared to live, but also be prepared to not go home or be prepared to die. And that was very difficult for me as you were sharing that, because as someone who, sure, I'm not in law enforcement, but I'm on the front lines at riots and protests, that I also have to think about those same things. And that's difficult for me, especially knowing what your story is.
He fired at us, but this time there was somebody standing behind the door he fired through. And that somebody was me and my 3 partners that were in there. It's a day that has forever changed my life. January 6th of 2015, me and my partners responded to a domestic disturbance where, as we searched the house looking for the suspect, knowing that he had already fired at his girlfriend and her friends, he fired at us, but this time there was somebody standing behind the door he fired through. And that somebody was me and my 3 partners that were in there. It's a day that has forever changed my life, forever changed the way that I look at things and the way I perceive what it all really means. And it's a day that has formed a new way of thinking for me. Law enforcement has always been one of those things that when you think about it, it is always, you're either all in or you're all out. And for a long time, I mean, I know people that have kind of been, that have rode that fence. And to me, those are dangerous people. And I think one of the reasons why I like to tell new recruits this is because I want them to go home safe every night. I don't want them to form these habits that make them complacent, because complacency is what really kills. You know, on the day that I got shot, it was of no tactical mistake that we made. It just so happened to be that's what was supposed to happen. I've questioned it too, why, on many occasions, and well, the reason why is because I get to tell my story to these other recruits, and I get to help shape their career and shape who they are, and hopefully get to shape the way they do things. You have to be ready to live. First and foremost, that's the number one thing that you want to think about whenever you're going on duty. But secondly, and you have to think about this every day, is what am I going to do if I get seriously injured or killed? Because, you know, as an officer, yeah, we get really great benefits for our families whenever we die, but that's really inconsequential whenever you think about the loss that is there. You know, we've got children that are growing up without moms and dads that have been taken by the beast of law enforcement. So we have nothing to fear but fear itself. Fear is a paralyzing feeling that consumes you and wraps you to a point to where you cannot move. And for me, I've had to fight that fear my entire life. You know, whenever I was 11 years old, I had a sister that was raped and murdered. And, you know, I didn't go around then looking at every man as possibly the one that did this to my family. I couldn't do that because that is exactly what fear's goal is to paralyze you and to put you into a point of submission to where you won't move forward. And see, and that is exactly the plan of what the evil one wants. He wants you to be scared to a point to where you are paralyzed, to where you absolutely fear the unknown. We all have a set number of days and hours that we are going to live. You cannot be thinking that every day is going to be your last day.
The situation that you went through, that it was not caused by everyone, it was caused by one specific person, and you're still able to look at people for who they are, and you don't walk around with fear saying, is this person going to do this to me, or is this situation going to come out of me being in this place? And so I applaud you for it, and I think there's a really important lesson for people to learn from that, because I think as we're seeing all of the tragedies happening around the world, it's obviously it's shifting the way that people think, and I think that more people need to take your approach to be able to say, sure, these tragic events are happening in various places of the world, but you can't let it change who you are. And I think that we try to express that message. You show it by going back into these communities, but I think it's also shown for people who perceive law enforcement a certain way, and they say, oh, well, this one bad officer did something to someone, so I see them all as bad, I don't want to be around them. That's that same fear that you're talking about avoiding, that people should not be that way. That one bad officer cannot speak for all the rest of the officers.
Exactly.
Just like that one killer, or that one shooter cannot speak for everyone else in these communities that you go into. So I applaud you for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.